that part of the time?
That's part of it.
That will start as being part of the time if you want to use that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Good morning. I'm Rose, and I'm the narrator.
I'm Colleen, and I'm playing Eglantine Jeb.
I'm Allie, and I'm playing Charlie Buxton, a random passerby and a worker for Save the Children.
I'm Rose, and I'm playing Dorothy Buxton Jeb.
I'm Caroline, I'm playing a police officer, a League of Nations counselor, and child.
And this is Eglantine Jeb from Prison to Power, A History of Children's Rights. Eglantine Jeb was born on August 25th, 1876, in Ellesmere Square, United Kingdom. She was born into a large family and grew to get an education at Oxford. However, once her education was finished, she couldn't hold a job. The two that she had lasted less than a year, and she lacked the passion necessary to truly excel in a career. Finally, in 1913, the perfect job opportunity was offered her by her sister Dorothy's husband, Charlie Buxton. This job would be the start of a future in advocating for children everywhere.
I just don't get it. My professional life is so terrible, it's practically non-existent.
It's all right, Eglantine. You'll find work someday. It's not as though you don't have good education.
I was a rebel all throughout college, and I left school early. And you know as well as I do that I'll never get as respectable a job as any man ever could.
Eglantine, my dear, what do I have news for you?
What is it?
I found a job for you.
That's perfect. How convenient. We were actually just talking about Eglantine's need for work.
What do you have in mind?
Well, surely you've heard of the foundation that my brother and I started in Next Door 2, the Dolphin Committee?
Yes, I'm aware. After all, it's all Dorothy has been talking about since you two got married.
Well, now, as part of that, we've started the Macedonian Relief Fund to help those in Macedonia.
Why? What's happening in Macedonia?
Well, as part of the Ottoman Empire, Macedonia has been under strict Turkish rule, and Serbia and Bulgaria decided they both want control over the Ottoman territory, and tried to overthrow the Turkish government to do so.
Yes, I believe I've heard of it. That's what started the First Balkan War. And in the end, they came to a territorial agreement.
But that agreement didn't last long. Now the Second Balkan War started, and Serbia and Bulgaria decided they both still want control over the Ottoman territory, though the Turkish government still rules over it. It's all very complicated, but Macedonia has been ripped apart and left in poverty.
It's truly awful. The living conditions are terrible, and no Macedonian can seem to find a good living space.
So what's my role in all of this?
We need somebody to look after the fund. We want you to travel to Macedonia and make sure that everything with the fund runs smoothly.
Of course, thank you, Charlie.
No problem. I have to go. I have a meeting with my brother. I just tell him that you're on board.
And this job was just the beginning for Eglantine. In 1919, Eglantine and Dorothy joined the Fight the Famine Council. After her trip to Macedonia, where Eglantine had witnessed some of the worst poverty that she had ever seen, she grew very passionate about the subject. The Fight the Famine Council provided the perfect opportunity for Eglantine and Dorothy to help those put into poverty by the Russian famine. Eglantine had many unique ideas on how to spread the word about the poverty.
It's so terrible. Every day people are starving to death, and no one bothers to do anything about it.
I know. They see it and talk about how terrible it is. That's all it is. Talk.
We need a way to open their eyes and make them want to take action.
Good luck with that.
Wait, I've got an idea. We could pass out leaflets with pictures of the starving children on their covers. It'll be the closest people can come to experiencing the poverty themselves. Seeing the faces of those starving children will surely want to make them take action.
Eglantine, I don't know if that's a great idea.
And why not? The government's not doing anything about it, so we have to.
Exactly. It's as if you're not supporting the government, and in these
I'm
times...
sorry, Dorothy, but I've made up my mind. I'm going to print some leaflets and I'll be on my way to Trafalgar Square.
All right.
Please, take a leaflet. Help us save the children.
No way. This is a big problem. The government know it. Go back to the kitchen where we belong.
Please, just take a leaflet.
Excuse me, young lady, what do you think you're doing?
Well, I'm trying to get the word out about how our blockade is impacting the children in Russia. It's terribly inhumane, sir, but with your authority status, surely you can spread the word.
I'm afraid I can't help you with that. You're under the arrest for protesting against the government and the blockade.
Sir, please.
Plead your case, ma'am.
Well, I traveled to Macedonia years back, and that was when I first learned of the poverty people around the world, especially children, are facing.
Eglantine continues to describe the effect of the blockade on the Russian famine.
Well, whose Eglantine was it? I'm afraid I can't let you go. But I can post a bail, and I'll pay it too. Your work is admirable. Just don't do this again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Eglantine, oh my dear sister, this is the perfect opportunity for me to say, I told you so.
Please spare me. The officer paid my bail. Dorothy, I've got a splendid idea.
No, another one.
I promise, this one's good. What if we broke off from Fight the Famine and started our own foundation? We could use the policeman's bail as our first donation.
And do what? Advocate for the same people that Fight the Famine does?
No, just the children.
Why? You've never been very fond of children. As I recall, you've even referred to them as little wretches.
But they're humans nonetheless. They're our future. They're being denied basic human rights based on age.
I think I can come around.
Please, Dorothy.
Well, all right.
and Dorothy's new foundation, Save the Children, expanded rapidly. By focusing in on conflicts in Central Europe, they were able to raise the equivalent of $8,567,840 in today's money by 1920, less than a year after their founding. Their success continued well into the 20s.
It's such a funny thing, actually, how World War I has ended, but the children in Germany and Austria are still living like it's war-torn.
It's that silly Treaty of Versailles that President Wilson whipped up. They're punishing Germany far too harshly for their loss. They're in poverty beyond compare.
Careful what you say. The last time I opposed the government, I ended up behind bars. Anyways, perhaps we could try to open up the people's eyes in a more subtle way that won't get us arrested.
We need to show them the terrors of the after effects of this war they so willingly made Germany pay for.
Show them. I've got it! This time we'll use the photographs of the starving children for sympathy again, but we'll individually select children to sponsor.
That's a great idea. We'll make them feel sympathy for the children without having to do time for it. Let's go spread the word.
Just not Trafalgar Square.
It is now September 26, 1924. Eglantine has written and published a document based on her experiences with impoverished children all over the world. It is called the Declaration of Geneva, later referred to as the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. It is presented on this date at a League of Nations meeting.
The child must be...
Miss Chubb, we are ready for you.
Number 1. The child must be given the means requisite for its normal development, both materially and spiritually.
Go on.
Eglantine continues to describe the necessities of the child.
And how do you expect to deliver these rights to each child?
I intend to start small. My sister and I's foundation, Save the Children, has been raising money for them, and as our foundation grows, so will the standards of child care. With enough advocation for these children, we can give these children a voice. Sir, children are human too. They're entitled to the same rights as you and me.
A noble point. Thank you for sharing, Miss Chubb.
The Declaration of Geneva helped to advance the standards of child care everywhere and granted children the rights that they so greatly deserve. As Eglantine Jubb once said herself, to succeed in life, we must give life. However, she had no children of her own. Instead, she gave the children in poverty life by dedicating her own to helping them. It is now the year 2017. Though Eglantine passed away on December 17, 1928, her legacy continues to live on. Save the Children Foundation is now operating in 120 countries all around the globe. Just look how much of a difference our Japan team is making today.
Oh, when you get a chance, we need some more volunteers to help pass out these lunches.
Sure, I'll be there in a second.
Thank you so much.
After the Great East Japan Tsunami and earthquake, Eastern Japan has been struggling to recover. Save the Children Foundation has been helping and aiding the nation's children by providing vaccines, school supplies, lunches, and much more to help their well-being. By taking a stand for what she believed in, Eglantine became the change that she wanted to see in the world.
Each child gets one lunchbox. Each lunchbox has a sandwich, an apple, animal crackers, and a juice box.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for helping out today. It's a great cause, and one little lunchbox makes a world of a difference.
I'm just glad this foundation was created. I mean, these children need all the help they can get.
Yes, and actually, to qualify for this job, we had to do research on the founder, Eglantine Jubb. Her drive to succeed and motivation to make a difference are qualities I aspire to have. Without her, the children that we are helping today would not be treated nearly the way they should.
Yes, and as Eglantine said herself, humanity owes the child the best it has to give.
Nice job, girl.
Good job.
Thank you.
So we saw a little of how you chose this. Was there anything that I mean, it's a great topic because most people don't know so much about it, like we all know Save the Children, right? Was there ever a point along the way where you thought, can we get enough information on her or things? How did you conduct all your research and get what you did?
Well, our biggest thing was last year we didn't have enough primary sources. So we thought this year we would do something more local to Connecticut because we definitely need more primary sources. We felt like that held us back a lot last year. So this year when we were choosing our topic, we initially picked Prudence Crandall, but we were quickly steered away from that because she's such a popular topic in Connecticut. So yeah, my mom, when we were picking Prudence Crandall, she had brought up Eglantine Jubb, and I was like, no one's heard of her. We won't be able to get enough research. And then by the time we realized we were doing Prudence Crandall, we looked into Eglantine Jubb, and I mean, she was amazing. And I kind of wondered, She founded it with her sister, but Dorothy never got as much credit, so we were like, oh, we want to look into that. Why was Eglantine the sole founder? And so by doing a bunch of research, we were able to find that out, and it was just a really engaging topic.
Yeah, we were able to have an interview with Save the Children at the headquarters.
Yeah,
So that's
Andrea
really
Williamson, the unofficial archivist.
Yeah, and we saw like the whole office and everything, it was just amazing.
They have like 2 whole floors.
Yeah.
Dead.
So so how did you get primary sources on Eglantine? What was your favorite primary source on just her?
Okay, well, we, Declaration of Geneva, it's in French, and the only person that takes French here is Rose. So we had a difficult time translating parts of it, but we thought that was really cool because it showed how small she started. She never liked children. And she never had any of her own. She was never very fond of them. But the fact that they were being denied human rights was a whole different story. So, like, how far she came to be able to have the whole League of Nations Council approve the Declaration of Geneva.
I have one other question. I just wanted to ask one question. When you were passing out the leaflets, those pictures of children, were those primary sources?
Yes. Those were the actual leaflet is right here.
Yeah.
That's what she handed out.
Yeah, and those were perfect. Great.
And was there any conflict between the sisters? I mean, you did a great job of having them interact. Did one feel not so well respected, or was there any kind of jealousy? Who was older?
Dorothy was older,
Yeah, okay.
which is another reason we were surprised
Yeah.
that Eglantine was the sole founder. And I mean, revisiting the fact that she didn't like children, it was just surprising and it was really interesting.
I want to wait one more question. The other question I have, just because I just want to make sure. You had changed the date on the calendar in 1920. Did they Save the Children calendar actually start in 1920? Is that a fact? Is that
In that scene, it was 1920.
Right.
So we just changed the date to 1920.
It was founded in 1919.
Yeah.
okay, but I'm just,
'Cause
we don't know if they produced a calendar.
No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, that's not. Yeah, we just wanted to make it clear they were in their office
I
for
got
Save the
that.
Children.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Any of you have any questions?
I was just wondering who came up with the idea of how you were gonna set everything up here. I mean, how did you come to that once?
We pretty much set up our last year's performance like this too.
And it worked really well.
We were told that the posters were distracting with all the pictures on them last year, so we thought in order to avoid that, for like the very historical scenes in the beginning, we kept them black, and then when they founded their own foundation, we turned them around at that specific point, kind of to get the point across of how big of a difference they made.
Very good.
It's a creative use of the space, I think, and are any of you in theater? Or any?
I am.
Okay, well, you did a great job.
Thank you.